had a very interesting conversation with a very sweet lady. So this very sweet lady, Latina woman, who has a grandson. And she always checks in with me to ask me how my kids are doing. And I tell them, they're doing great. Praise Yah. And I always ask her, how's your grandbaby doing? And she says, he's doing great, but he thinks he's got a little girlfriend. And I said, oh, what's that about? And I'm like, it's so important for us to tell kids at this age, just stay focused. It's normal for you to like somebody, but just stay focused. Let yourself mature, grow up, don't rush, have fun being a kid. She agreed, great, right? So then she starts to tell me she's asking him about her and, he won't really tell her. Next day she goes to pick him up from school and she sees the little girl. And she sees that the little girl's brown skin. So she says to him, oh, papito, es negrita ella. She's a little black one, right? And her grandson says to her, Mama, usted racista. Like, Mama, you're racist? And she said it caught her off guard when he said that to her. And I looked at her and I said, wow, I'm impressed that he said that to you. And I said, it's important for our kids, our young kids especially now, to understand that you got to catch those things and it's not right. It's things that we're taught in our culture, but we got to, stand up against those things, right? Because we are a very diverse people and we are Afro descendants, right? And your country, just like the country where my family's from, we have people of all complexions and all hues, and we are all one, right? So you can see in her face that she was, kind of embarrassed, and she's like, no, I was just, kidding. I, just laughed it off and everything. And, I just said, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, and I said, oh, okay. So then she says her grandson says to her, oh, but, well, Grandma, there's no white girls in the class, and she's really pretty, she's brown skinned, but, she's really pretty. So what I learned in that conversation, definitely, of course, is that, how it's a perfect example of how racism is passed down, because you have this kid in this generation now who's aware of what racism is, right? He likes this little girl and he's aware of what racism is. And he says this to his grandmother, who he loves very much, right? But because of her response and because he respects her and he wants to please her, he kind of backpedals a little bit and says, well, okay, she is kind of brown, but, she's really pretty. And there's really no white girls in the class for me to pick from. Right. So it's an example of how racism really is passed down from generation to generation. And still you have people in 2024 that want to tell you that racism does not exist in Latin America. That's from a bygone generation. It's not real. It's just they're just ultra sensitive. People just take things too far. They don't understand the terms that we use and that it's all just friendly and we don't mean it a certain way. But here you have an example in 2024 of how real this is. And this is what keeps racism alive, is when you have people in your own family that you love and that you respect, that make you feel like, I'm aware that what I'm hearing and seeing is racism, but in the same token, well, I don't want to displease my mom or my grandma who I love, right? I don't want to displease her. So, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And then it causes a child at that age to second guess themselves and then question themselves like, well, should I like this little girl? Because she is brown skinned. Maybe it is bad and I don't want to disobey my grandmother, right? This is how racism is passed down, generation to generation to generation. This is what keeps it alive. So for all the people who want to mouth off, talk to your faces blue, say that it doesn't exist, you're liars, because this is still happening right now, today in 2024. And it's not until more of us speak out about it, call it out in real time, that we will see, we won't see a change. And if you have to make somebody feel uncomfortable in the moment by doing that or make them feel self-conscious, so be it, and you would hope that they take that as a lesson and that they examine themselves. And if they don't, well, then I guess they won't be talking to you anymore. I guess she took it well, because I saw her again and she still asked me how my day was. But amen, just wanted to share that. Have a great day. Y'all be blessed.